Oh, okay. They just gonna tell me what's what. Okay. They say you doing vertical and that's final. All right, cool. Then we doing it vertical. Terence Bud Crawford. Pound for pound, the best fighter in the world. But when you guys wasn't thinking about Terence Crawford, didn't know who Terence Crawford was, there was one person, one, who knew what this was going to be. There was one person who knew Terence Crawford was one of the best fighters in the world. And when I figured that out was in 2013. I knew he was a great fighter when he was an amateur in the Nationals. I told Cameron Duncan to sign Terence Crawford. I suggested to him. I'm not saying that Mikey Garcia didn't say anything to him. I'm quite sure he did when he was signing Mikey. But I told Cameron Duncan before he signed Mikey Garcia, Terence Crawford is who he should have been looking at. I'm like, that's the kid. That's the kid right there you should be checking out. Because he's a dog. And from those days to now, to see where he is today than where he was back then, it only makes sense now. Everything only makes sense. So when you see me, understand I've been here for a very long time. I wrote an article in 2013 saying when Floyd retires, Terence Crawford will become the best fighter in the world. That was me. Great, it's raining. Let's get up the rest of the snow that we got. But anyhow, what happened, right? And because it happened, there's no escape. There's no excuse. There's no rhyme of reason. There's no wiggle room around what's going on. So people say, man, Bud retired, man. You gonna talk about it? Yes, I'm gonna talk about it. They asked why I didn't talk about Ricky Hatton when Ricky Hatton stepped down. They said, man, Ricky Hatton stepped down. And I said, I saw that. It's like, you ain't gonna talk about what happened with Ricky Hatton? They said, Ricky Hatton, he died. But I heard he committed suicide, and they didn't want to discuss it. So his depression was gotten that great. It's not the first time that's happened to Ricky. But I will say this. That was a hard pill to swallow. Now, I ran into Ricky Hatton first time in, when was the first time I ran into Ricky? I ran into Ricky, I believe, the first time ever was in no, it wasn't even 19, it was 2000 something. He was here for a fight. And I think it was his first trip to the United States. And this is before he fought Floyd. He was here for a fight. Might have been the Collazo fight. I don't know. It might be a little earlier than that. But one thing we knew for sure was that it was going to be quite difficult for any human being to come forward and bring the type of tenacity that he brought night after night. That was going to be too hard to be matched. And then you had some other fighters that passed away, but enough of that. Terence Bud Crawford was in the wings, working, fighting, and Cameron Duncan couldn't get him fights. I remember that. Couldn't get this guy a fight to save his life. So he ended up sparring people. And then he was like, man, I'm trying to get you a fight at 135. Trying to get you a fight here at 135. So he starts sparring with Timothy Bradley. And back then, we were trying to work with Timothy Bradley. Our team was trying to be pretty much a PR for Timothy Bradley. And we were going to help with his image because he never really had an image with the black community. So salute and salute. And Tim, when he sparred, it was like brutal. When he had his father training him at the time, like those training camps was brutal. But Bradley used to walk through his guys. Depends on who he was fighting, but Timothy Bradley used to walk through his guys, like his training camp. He would just outwill his fighters. He didn't have more skill than them. He would normally outwill them and wear them down. And they would fold up. But this was the first fighter he ever fought that he couldn't really land anything on. And it was so controlled to the part where he said, you know what? My guy, we got this. You are not a sparring partner, but I'm going to keep you for the whole camp. Just so he can have some money because he wasn't getting any money. Here you got the world's greatest fighter and you can't put him in any fights. Golden Boy wouldn't get him any opponents because they was at war with Top Rank. He signed with Top Rank. Top Rank is not looking at him as a moneymaker. They're looking at him as a moneymaker down the road. And every time Terence Bud Crawford had a chance, right, every time he came out of retirement, I'm not out of retirement, but every time he came into a fight, he couldn't get it. The fights would fall through. He was supposed to fight Mikey Garcia. They were like, we're building up this fight with you and Mikey Garcia, who we fought in the amateurs. Everybody and their mama knew. Undefeated Mikey Garcia versus undefeated Terence Crawford. There's no way Terence Crawford don't mop the floor with Mikey Garcia. And Mikey Garcia knows that. He said, no, I'm going up 2 weight classes and I'm fighting Errol Spence. He skipped 140 altogether and went straight to 147 to fight Errol. And he ain't have a punch to break wind. So then everything changes again. You know, what goes up comes down situation. Everything changed again for Bud. He's winning division, world champions, paying all these sanctioning fees to hold all the belts. And that's why people weren't really concerned or wasn't really focusing him, but he was just going mostly for legacy. He had legacy, but the big money wasn't there. And Terence was stopping dudes. Nobody was stopping guys. In big fights, he was stopping people. He stopped every human being at welterweight. Everybody he's ever faced. That's never happened for a guy coming up from 135 and go up to, I'm like, he went from 130 to 135, 140, 147. He goes from that far down to go to welterweight and start stopping all of his opponents at welterweight. It's never happened. Mm-hmm. No, Terence Bud Crawford, come on, man. Now, let's go further, right? Because now, okay, he left. Now Top Rank is like, you finna get the Manny Pacquiao fight. Manny Pacquiao and you. This is it. So they said, Manny, if Terence Crawford wins his next fight, you're gonna fight Terence Crawford. Because they're getting ready to cash Manny out. I mean, the Pacquiao fight with Mayweather already happened. It's done and done at this time. Bud was gonna knock Manny out. They know that. He had been the first guy to really stop him since Marquez. But Pacquiao, who fights everybody, came right in there and said, Terence Crawford, no, I don't think the fight's big enough. So he said the fight wasn't big enough. Not that he's scared, just wasn't a big enough fight for him to get involved. So he decides to go to Australia and fight this contender over in Australia. Right? And what happens? Top Rank said, oh, you're not going to do the fight? Bet. Joe Horn ends up upsetting Manny Pacquiao. I knew something fishy was going on. Why? Because he's not going to fight Terence Crawford after this fight. So Top Rank does what Top Rank do. They screw you. So they screwed Manny Pacquiao, even though you could see Manny Pacquiao, but you could make a push for Horn. All he had to do was be in the fight. But you could tell Pacquiao was busting that guy up. And I'm just like, oh no. You don't take I've never seen the champion lose like that. But he had made some gay slurs earlier too to make it even easier for no, that was way earlier. No, this is just the screw job. So this was that's what caused the Tim Bradley loss. But this here is why that happened. And Joe Horn ended up getting the belt. And Terence Crawford, first fight at welterweight, is now against Joe Horn for the title. So he wins the title. And it was like, well, Manny, if you want to get revenge, this is it. Manny Pacquiao, again, didn't think the Terence Crawford fight was big enough for him to fight. He wanted no parts of Terence Crawford. He didn't want any bud. So Bud was frustrated. He was talking about quitting a lot of times, bro. So now they're giving him fights. He finally gets Sean Porter. He got Amir Khan. He got Cale Brook. But in these fights, he did something unique in every fight. He made these guys look like they didn't belong or they were out of their realm in dealing with him. I've seen Amir Khan fight a lot of times. Never did I ever see anyone outbox him. He normally gets knocked out, but no one ever stopped Amir Khan for doing what he wanted to do. They kind of let him do what he does with his speed, and then when he comes to a certain degree, pop, they close the door. Now, Amir Khan admitted Terence Crawford was the first guy he ever fought that was outboxing him. And it made him think about retiring right after the fight. Because he's never had that happen to him. Mean Machine, they made a big deal about that. Like, oh, he got rocked by Mean Machine. And when they got rocked by Mean Machine, or you said he got rocked, he stopped the Mean Machine in the very next round. And that guy hit harder than anybody at welterweight. And he said, well, if you think this guy is easy, then tell Errol Spence to fight him. Danny Garcia was on the table. He was like, all right, well, give me Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia didn't fight nobody. Let me fight Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia and PBC wanted no parts of Terence Crawford because now they're in a war with Top Rank. After saying they wanted to make the best fights in the world and the best fighting the best, they said no. We don't want that. We got Danny Garcia versus Thurman. We got everybody from Keith Thurman's. He was like, all right, well, give me Keith. Since Keith coming up, we'll give him a shot at the world title. PBC, no. Sean Porter. The only way he got the Sean Porter fight is because he was cool with Sean Porter, and this was going to be Sean Porter's last fight. That was it. He was like, I'm fighting Terence Crawford. They kept away from him forever. Terence Crawford offered any one of their welterweights to fight him. PBC wouldn't do it. And he's like, if y'all want to make the fight happen, y'all can make it happen. They weren't going to go against PBC. So Sean Porter did what he did, took the fight with Terence Crawford. He lost. As soon as they said they had you losing, because Terence Crawford was leaving Top Rank after this fight. He thought Top Rank was going to try to screw him and give the win to to Sean Porter, saying that the scorecards is close. Once Bud heard that, they got him up. How? All right. And round 9, he just went out. Boop, 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 boop. Start putting it on him. Start turning up and putting it on him. So after that, the world been put on notice about Errol. Errol laughs it off. Errol's, man, that dude ain't fought nobody. He ain't on my level. And I was trying to tell people, I know when a fighter don't want to fight people, and I know when they worried about that fight, because they know exactly what that fighter is and what that fighter could do. So he wanted no parts. Now, there are many different reasons why these situations happen, people. You just got to understand that they don't just pull this out of thin air. They know what they're doing when they start making these observations and realizations and all this other crazy stuff they doing. There's a reason they trying to pull this wool over your eyes. When Terence Crawford beat all these guys, right? And they told him he was a free agent now. Now they can make the Errol Spence fight. They got no choice. Al Heyman's people said this is what they was going to do. Just wait, they gonna make the fight. They want Terence Crawford to sign over a 3-fight deal in PBC, guaranteeing that he gonna get paid this much, that much, and this much if he takes the Errol Spence fight. They don't want him to take the Errol fight, win, and then go away. So they wanted him to agree to an automatic rematch and then another fight of his choice. Like another fight after that. So they making sure they get 3 fights out of Terence Crawford. Right? They taking so long in negotiations. They're trying to make Terence rusty. And he was like, I told y'all, I want to take a fight in between. They was like, no. So he took one in between anyway. Like, I'm my own boss. I'm tired of waiting on y'all. Y'all keep saying y'all gonna do this and that, and I know what y'all doing. Y'all want me to just be sitting around getting rusty. So Terence take a fight in between. Because he training. He's staying active. Errol's not really training. He's just a damn big balloon ball. Bud stay in shape. He stay ready. So he goes in there, he drops a guy in 3 rounds. Did it with an independent guy, put on the fight. And they was like, man, we shouldn't even give you the Errol fight because you just did a fight on that small network. He was like, man, I stopped that dude. And now He was like, so that's just gonna do nothing but sell more tickets. And you know it. So stop playing games. Errol wanted to make this fight happen. Errol wanted to make this fight happen, one, so he can get a real big payday. And they knew this was it. They still asked him not to take the fight. Errol wanted to make the fight happen. Because nobody out there was going to give him the big money. See, Errol's big move was he was supposed to fight Manny Pacquiao. And that fight was signed and agreed upon. Pacquiao was going to fight Errol Spence. So Errol could beat up and retire Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao had beat Keith Thurman. So everything seemed like it was going the way it was supposed to go. Then something happened. After beating Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao had to wait because Errol Spence, who he was supposed to fight, pulled out of the fight because his eye or retina or whatever you want to call it, right? My retina, I can't see. So now on short notice, Pacquiao fights Ugas. And Ugas beats the brakes off of Manny Pacquiao. So now that he's beat the brakes off of Manny Pacquiao, Errol Spence had no other choice. So now he's got to fight Ugas. So he stops Ugas, right? And everybody's like, oh, he's back. He's the big king. Errol's the beast, the monster. He beat Danny Garcia. Then he beat Ugas. Now he is ready for Bud Crawford. Nobody said nothing about his accident. This dude done had three fights since the accident. And nobody mentioned nothing about his accident. At all. Now, once that's done, they go to a new light. Now, when they go to the new light, this is what ends up happening. As soon as they arrive at said point, there's a massive difference in what is supposed to happen and what isn't happening. Now, what was supposed to happen and what did happen are two different things entirely. You see, what happened with Terence Crawford in this fight was exactly how I told you it was going to go down. I even predicted the round it'd be over. I said it'd be one-sided. It was brutal. After this fight, that's when the whole world knew Terence Crawford was the best fighter in the world. And most black folks didn't know that. They were all Errol Spence out because they've been lied to their entire boxing career as he was being propelled as one of the best fighters in the game, which he was not. Now, he was handpicked a lot of opponents to accommodate his style of boxing. Terence Crawford is not his style of boxing. He never fought anything like it. So once he fought Terence Crawford, I knew what was going to happen. I knew how it was going to happen, and I knew it would be over. So as the fight was so bad that everyone knew that he shouldn't even ask for a rematch. They had a rematch clause in there. So Errol, out of pride, just said, "No, we're gonna have to run it back, but this time we're gonna run it back at 154." As if weight was the issue. Now, the reason why he believes weight is an issue is because in his mind, that's what matters. See, when you tell someone else that when you tell someone, hey, this matters, now it becomes what we call a whole nother thing. Errol knew that this rematch was bad, and they had the date set for the rematch, but Errol was nowhere near getting ready for that fight. Now he's warring with his trainer, Derrick James, over money. And he's focused on his other fighters, his promotional company, and all of that. And he's not ready. His mind isn't on boxing. He's done. And I knew that. So now, Charlo was supposed to be the one on the list. Jermell Charlo. He was going up to fight Canelo. And he was like, okay, well, you can come back down and, we'll fight for the unified at 154. No. Mel didn't want to do that. Mel didn't want no parts after getting himself dropped by Canelo. He was not talking about going back down to fight Bud Crawford no more. Even though they had basically agreed to do this. He didn't want to do that. Man, I ain't fighting that dude. He too small. So, setting himself up for a disaster, he ran from the Crawford fight. After he lost to Canelo, he went and sat down and wouldn't fight Bud. So Bud fought another guy at 54. Real tough dude, man. Guy was a tough fight. And he went to distance for the first time in like years. Someone went to distance with Crawford. And Bud was only going to fight. Like he said, I'm only going to fight maybe 2-3 fights, and then I'm out. I'm done. I'm not going to fight till I'm 40. He was serious. So he was like, I'm never fighting Canelo. No, that's too big. 168 was too big. That's what he's saying. I can't fight it that way. That's way too big for me. And then they started coming with all this crazy amount of money. So he was like, all right, I'll do it. But then Canelo got the lion's share just to get the fight. He's getting like 150 million, and all the revenue for the fight, all the money they was paying Canelo. He's supposed to do another two fights or whatever to get it paid to him. But that's nuts. Mm-hmm. So, but when everything's said and done, end up walking away with about close to 50 million. So they basically spent 200 million on the fight. I knew it. To challenge himself with somebody like that. Y'all only want to say Boots Ennis, right? That's who y'all want to talk about. Boots Ennis, who is Boots' fault? Please tell me. Who did he fight? Did he fight the number one contender? Did he fight any of the champions? What did Boots Ennis do? What did he do at 47? How many world champions did he fight? at 47 when he was there. What has he done to build himself up? Did he take the Terence Crawford route and beat world champions? Boots Ennis, whose career I got to hear a lot about from dudes from Philly, is like this. He's a good fighter. He's not a great fighter. Terrence would have beat him. Okay? And there's a reason why it's called experience. Boots fought a lot of house fighters. A house fighter is somebody that normally fights in Philly or come to Philly, used to fight on the card, and he's good work. It's almost like a sparring session. They always fight in that place, and they either win or lose or draw. Most likely lose. Fought a lot of those dudes. Go look at Boots' resume and tell me what you see in Boots. And that's great. He should stay in the gym working on his craft. But a lot of people stay in the gym working on their craft. But what are you working on? Some people work on the things that they're already good at. Other people work on things that they're not good at. What is Boots working on? See, fighters are different. How are you training? How are you training for the fight? What are you doing? What are you bringing to the table for the fight? This is the Errol Spence thing all over again. Except for Errol was fighting people that you have seen before and you saw mostly on TV. Now that Boots is at 154, now he's going to get thrown into the fire. So now we're going to see what happens when he fights Victor. We're going to see what happens. We got to fight Victor Ortiz, I believe, now. So now he's finally finna get a fight. This will be his first fight. So after this first fight, we're gonna see where he measures. Now, the question is: this retirement real? Yes, it is. So there's gonna be no obligations for Terence Crawford to hold up the division, pay a sanctioning fee to be the champion of this and that. Nope. At this point, there's no need for you to even be active. Something would have to come down the pipe that meets the requirements for you to want to get out of bed to do it again. He's like, if I'm gonna rematch Canelo, if Canelo gonna do it, it's gonna be on my terms. I have to get 100 million, or I'm just gonna retire. How can you duck someone that's not in your level? When was Boots the number one contender for Bud Crawford? And what? I'm not saying Boots isn't a good fighter. He's a good fighter for his size, but he has to beat people. You can't fight a bunch of tomato cans and say, hey, my record is 28-0. I know a tomato can when I see one. So when I don't see what I want to see, or something when I feel like it's not up to par or up to snuff, then that's when I start asking questions. Mm-hmm. I know, right? And I remember there was a time when you actually had to hit somebody. Very good question. And I have an answer for that also. Listen, I'm not taking anything away from Boots. I'm waiting to see the real Boots in it. In my opinion, would he have beat Terence Crawford? Absolutely not. In my opinion, would that have been a compelling fight stylistically? Yeah, for as long as it lasted. Do I think Bud would have caught Boots Ennis and hurt him? Yes. Boots is not that mentally tough. He can be hurt. He makes a lot of mistakes from overconfidence. That's false. He's overconfident with those guys who he feels are no threat. In front of Bud, the lights would have been too bright. And that could have destroyed him at 154. But his mouth want to call out Bud. But when he got face to face with Bud, Bud said, so you was calling me out? When you call me out, boy? Man, you know I want to fight, man. You know I want to fight. You see what I'm saying? Because Bud know like I know. Stop playing. You don't want to fight me, man. And you know it. Not now. That ends everything. Yeah, that ends everything. When you start hearing things like that, it's all over. Now, Well, when you get down to the very gist of it, then you start to understand it a lot more. There's 9,700 different ways you could go about handling things that transpire, right? Bud is serious about retirement. He's seriously not finna fight until he's 40. But it makes no sense for him to keep paying all money sanctioning fees when right now he's a prize fighter. He's got the name, he got the recognition, the whole world knows him. When y'all find a guy who y'all think is ready and y'all willing to put up the money, he'll come out of retirement. Canelo doesn't want Canelo don't want another fight with Bud Crawford. Not really. He'll tell you that bull. He don't really want that. Then you're gonna have people go, what do he want then? Well, here's what he want. He want his respect. And when you don't have that respect, the narratives are always there. They seem to always rear their ugly head. Here come the narratives. Errol's retired because he needs to be. Errol is done. Because there's no fight Errol could really dominate. There's no money for him. Unless he wants to come back and fight Canelo Alvarez, which I think would be a mistake. He will lose to Canelo. And that would be that. Errol has zero lateral movement. This was his boxing style. Errol Spence boxing style was straight up and down. That's it. That was all you're gonna get out of him. So if you thought that there was some magical way Errol Spence was gonna get away with something, this wasn't it. Not at all. The Thurman fighters out there for him. Who gonna make money with Keith Thurman? The dude been hurt more than he's been champion. Keith Thurman problem was Keith Thurman. You would think Keith Thurman got 15 losses. Because every time he has a win, he's Keith one fight Thurman. That's what I told you. Keith one fight Thurman. He fight one fight and then he gone for 3 years. See, with Keith Thurman, it was a lot different than the rest of the other people would even recognize. See, none of them wanted to be involved. All people want are things to be nice and civil. Like civil shepherd. But they never put things into perspective so you can get your proper etiquette on it. You know what I mean? For instance, you guys would know or would say pretty much that skills pay the bills, right? But they seem to rave the guys that get hit and then hit back, get hit, and disrespect them. Floyd Mayweather was disrespected pretty much his entire career. Only the selected few was rooting for him. The people that rooted for him to lose were greater than the ones that rooted for him to win. So in that aspect, we're always looking at the moving vehicle. Yep. Now, the rest of the boxing world, like people overseas, they love Floyd Mayweather. They couldn't understand how American media would villainize him. Because they, in London, in England, they appreciate boxing. Boxing was it for them, you know. They love the sport of boxing. MMA, man, that was second rate. Boxing's where it's at. Tradition, you know. So the Londoners appreciate the fights, you know. They want to see a boxing match. Now, when all of these people start to see that, okay, I can take this route and I can do this and I can get that amount of money without having to really get myself annihilated. Well, this is this. You know, who's not going to watch Tyson and Mayweather? Everybody going to watch that, man. Even just to see what that's going to look like in a ring. They're going to pay just to see it. Because when it happens, nothing else is going to be on. Now Netflix got Jake Paul, and they're fighting this Friday, isn't it? Or it's coming up. Well, it's coming up on a Friday. I don't know which is the exact date, but yeah, it's getting crazy. Yeah, it is tomorrow, right? I was going to say, isn't it Friday? You know, the promotion is like only on cable, so when you see these things happen, you know, it is what it is. Terence definitely has put his town on the map. Nobody in Nebraska was ever winning tournaments, was ever being considered. You know, that's why they didn't have world champions. Most of those guys became corn huskers. You know, they is like, okay, boxing ain't our route. But Terence Crawford, when he came into that gym, boxing is what he wanted to do. And it's enough to make you want to quit. The business of boxing is crooked. And for years, you guys were denied to see Terence Crawford fight better opponents. By PBC, Top Rank tried to make the fights. They couldn't really get him for him. But PBC, the people y'all praised, And they was like, you a Mayweather guy, how dare you go against PBC? I'm like, look, I'm about what's right and wrong for the sport of boxing. I'm gonna tell it 100. When somebody ain't doing what they supposed to do and they costing us big fights, we supposed to call them out. That's what we supposed to do. We don't make excuses for them. But you got a lot of fanboys that came in and got in the way and messed up the conversation. So we used to hold people that really loved this sport and really knew the ins and outs of the sport of boxing instead of being fanboys. And now the sport media is so dead, they're just letting more and more fanboys coming in. And you got things like Showbiz, and you got you got him doing what he's doing, and you got other people that's doing their other thing, And not to hate on what they doing, they love the sport of boxing, but it's just that, they slut themselves out for views. And they would just go along with agendas, but they don't really know anything about it. They're just almost at the novice level of understanding the sport. Somebody who having to cut a lot of weight near fight dates and all of these things. These things matter going into a fight. Yeah, Netflix is playing a lot of dirty games. They even got Donald Trump in there to help them secure the deal. There are a lot of things going on the table that people need to be concerned about. So when they start seeing all of these things pile up, then they'll understand. They'll get it then. You see, people always is at that point of, I don't understand now, but you will when it's over. And I guarantee you that. I say that to people all the time. You could be your biggest enemy. They hated Floyd because he was his own promoter. He figured out the game. I don't need a promoter no more. And if Floyd is the #1 fighter in the world who hadn't lost, and no one's beat him, and he's the face of boxing, they don't want other fighters to follow that trend. So for their own survival, they feel that they got to go against Floyd and talk down on him. So Floyd only had us to fight the good fight. We were the ones informing you. We were the ones that was telling y'all the real. Who do you think we were getting the information from? So you mean to tell me Floyd wasn't giving me information? Then when I did that interview with him, he said every word that I said. Oh my. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Did they call 911?
I think they are.
Oh my God. Oh, you guys called 911?
I'm calling the security.
Okay. Yeah, a lady who was handicapped. Her cart fell over. She was in her little chair, and she fell over, and she's in the middle of the street. Okay. That was interesting. They went over there to be with that lady and take care of her. She's got 4 or 5 people there. The relaxologist. I used to come here a lot. Oh, my mom would love this. Christmas music, Christmas movies. This is right up her alley. I didn't help her out because there's 5, 6 people that came out. So when 5, 6 people are there, plus the guy, and I said, hey, y'all got this? They got it. So I can go about my business. Had it not been like saying I was the only person there, then yeah, I would have helped. And I checked even on the inside. You see me ask the dude if they call it 911 or so he's calling security so that they can call 911. I remember this time of year, stores used to be packed. How you doing? All right. Well, I could always come back and get those. No, she's in one of those mobile chairs. Like, they got a motor on it. And she fell off. She went backwards. You know, on one of those motor carts. It goes like her, like, chair, such. And this one, her, for some reason, it went backwards. It's like, and then she fell over the step. And went back of her head. So she's laying straight down in the middle of the street. So what I did was make sure yeah. So see, this is why I hate going out grabbing Christmas gifts for people. When you go out and grab Christmas gifts, you start buying stuff yourself. You go, hey, wait a minute. This is how much this is? All right. I might have to grab this for me. Now, you can't tell the men's section from the women's section anymore. You really can't. Here we are with every scenario in the that is cool, cool, cool. Mm. See, I gotta give my mom something she can return. All right. Mom gonna be out of luck. So whatever I give my mom, she taking back anyway. So that's part of the beauty of the gift. Is you just grab something from the store she frequents. So gives her something to do. You get her a gift, she ain't gotta go back to the store for it. You didn't fail. Now you done gave her something to do. Mom gonna be, now I gotta go back up there, but good thing you left the gift receipt in here, so I can go back up there and I'm gonna go get this thing I saw in there, because it was this thing in there and it's about the same price. So thank you for the good effort, but I can't fit this, you know that she wanna do this. I know how this whole conversation is gonna go, because I done been through it 500,000 times. I'm glad you got a notification, because they really haven't been sending out too many notifications. My internet is down at the house, so I've been on the move. My router went down, like my modem. That whole thing is done. So they sent me a new one. They said you could just keep that one, because I guess it's so old. They done got a new modern one now. So they're like, you can just get rid of that. I'm like, get rid of it? No problem. I'm in there breaking it in half. What I'm gonna do is fix it. Then they gonna be in trouble. Yeah, most of the stuff is outdated. So when you get, people forget years go by when you have cable and internet and these modem boxes change. Well, they already put the package in the mail, so. No, I dress like a hobo when I go out to the stores. I'm not trying to get stopped in what I'm trying to do. Anything of the sort when it comes to, oh, hey! I'm like, I'm here on a mission. And that's when you normally run into people. You see some of the finest chicks in the world when you dress like a hobo. Oh, yes. So I'm borrowing a love song from the bar. Look at the beautiful display. No, I'm not festive at all. Very much not. So Well, the key is to always be the key. That's how I see it. You'll never be behind if you keep that mentality. Be the key.
Hello. So those are $3, but without tax.
Just like the last one. Just like James Cameron. Okay, well, here's what I needed from you. Do you guys have, like, for kids or packages for, like, holiday gift packages for, like, movies?
No, we do not. We don't have any holiday gift packages.
Huh. I used to have a package of tickets I could buy for...
Well, the closest I think we have would be just a gift card that you can use to buy tickets, but it's nothing. I wouldn't really call it a package.
All right.
Sorry, any luck with the hat, or is that going to take a minute?
Okay.
And nothing already recorded in the lost and found? No, it's okay. It's possible. It might have gotten away somewhere else. Sorry, I just need to answer this.
Okay, go ahead, do that, because this is not a concern.
Hi, this is Ryan again. So, unfortunately, we looked through our lost and found, and we did not find any hat that matches that description. None of them.
Oh, James Cameron's trying to charge people. Yeah, James Cameron's trying to charge people for this. Oh, the ambulance came and got the lady. And he left her chair. Her chair. Oh, they're gonna just treat her. They're not taking her away.
I just got up here. I don't know what's going on there.
Oh yeah,
So
she fell backwards here. That's her chair. So I didn't know if they were taking her away.
See what happened?
When I came here, she had fell over this and fell backwards right here. Her chair went backwards, and she fell there on that spot there.
All right. And maybe make it.
So
she was coming. Was she coming off the ramp?
Yeah, she got to like right here, and then went backwards. Her chair went backwards, and she fell flat backwards like this.
Well, she came off this foot backwards.
Yeah,
Was she still in the chair?
Yeah, she was still in the chair.
Tell them what happened. So
Yes.
Yeah, real quick. She's waiting for her case boss to come.
Okay.
She didn't realize the curb was right there. She was turning around facing
The door.
front
Yeah.
entrance. And she felt one of the wheels drop off, and then it just took the other one with it. And
Gravity took over.
Yeah.
That's all you need, right? Yeah. I got you. And I will write down the report number for this, so when she goes to the police department, she knows, like, hey, this is where it's at, you know?
Okay. Yeah, I was just trying to, don't forget her chair and everything.
Thank you so much.
All right, no problem. Yeah, I've seen a lot of accidents, buddy. No, I don't think he would do that either, or either. Oh, there's so much going on, and there's so much going wrong. This is why I do what I do. So the lady's getting helped. She seemed to be all right. She has total recollection as to what's going on. I'm like, when I saw her and flipping over, she didn't realize how close she was to the edge. And when she turned, one of her back wheels went and another back wheel went, and there she went, you know. So if he fights at 68, it would probably be Canelo. If he's telling the Sheik $100 million, that makes sense, don't it? 100 million sound about right. If I'm telling the Sheik $100 million for me to come back, shoot, I would come back for 100 million. Who you want me to beat up? So if he's saying I'm gonna pay you 100 million to fight Boots Ennis, you think Bud Crawford wouldn't take that fight? All right then. So build the fight up to where it makes sense. And he will definitely come out of retirement. But I wouldn't say it's a ploy. Because that's what he represents. I've never seen Bud Crawford move in a way that was disrespectful to the sport. He's a guy that's been shortchanged his entire career, while other guys got fat for doing nothing. You know, not to take nothing away from Danny Garcia, but Danny Garcia should not have made more money than Terence Crawford. I'm sorry. He just shouldn't have. And fighting tomato cans to get it. So they got fat while Bud was starving. It just made him want to destroy them dudes even more. Man, we got so many funny stories, man. Sean got an interview with Terence Crawford. He got so mad he didn't even want to post the interview. He still got it. I don't think he ever posted the interview. It was from like it was his early years, and he kept asking him questions like, "Okay, Terence," so he's all excited to interview him, and Bud like, "Yeah, uh-huh, I don't know, yeah." He's giving the worst interview answers ever. You know, there's no expansion. He giving them like one word answers to everything. So Sean just cut it quick. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna let you go. He was bad as could be. Bud wasn't. He didn't have media training back then. You know, like he didn't. If he's not in the mood, don't want to talk. And he was giving every impression that he didn't want to talk. But Sean kept pressing on, man, asking them questions. I was like, he gave every impression to me that he didn't want to be bothered. And you kept asking him these questions, man. It was wild. He retired their content. Oh, Jesus Christ. Floyd Mayweather versus Terence Crawford is not gonna ever happen unless it's in an exhibition, not for a real fight. At this stage in his career, no, Floyd shouldn't fight him. Floyd is in his 40s. I mean, he's done all the fights you need to see him do. This is it. Everybody they say Floyd didn't fight. He fought. And then some. Floyd ain't gonna fight this person. He fought him. Floyd ain't gonna fight him. He fought him too. Floyd ain't gonna do this. Floyd did that. Well, he ain't gonna fight so-and-so. Fought him too. Well, Floyd didn't fight this dude. Fought him, please. Fought him. Everybody you name, he fought him. Nobody else has his list of resumes. So we'll chat later when I get through making these runs.